Topic 1.4, solving inequalities in one variable. Topic is very similar to solving equations in one variable, but now we have to do with inequality. And the important thing of that is that you have to be able to tell the difference between less than and greater than. And for me, the trick is less than looks like an L kind of. So if you know that's less than, then you're able to read it. Like here, this is n is less than 0. N is less than equal to 0. So that's less than. And the other trick is if you know less than, then you know greater than. Because greater than looks something like this, but it's not less than. I see this, I'm like, oh, that's less than. I see this, I'm like, oh, that's not less than, which means it's greater than. So this has to be greater than. Never mind, let's look at this a little bit more. So right here we have n is less than 0. Again, it's less than because I could kind of spell less. It's not perfect, but you can kind of spell it. And you just read it, n is less than 0. So how does that work out? So here's our number line. We'll put a 0, put some numbers less than 0, some numbers on the other side of 0. And what we want to do is, anytime it's less than or greater than, we have an open circle because it means you cannot be the number. You have to either be strictly greater than or strictly less than it. Greater than or equal to or less than equal to. If you see that little line there, that means you can be the number. So we'll draw a closed circle like that. So in this case, we are only less than it. So open circle. And then which direction do we go? Do we go to the left or go to the right? Now this one is less than. So you got to think, okay, what numbers are less than 0? These numbers are less than 0. So it's going to go this way. I have another trick also. If you did it correctly, the arrow should kind of match the arrow. And again, this only works if you're in proper notation variable on the left hand side, but it should work. Less than sign to the left. General idea. The next thing is the next one, right? N is less than or equal to 0. Here is 0. Close circle. -1 and 1. Again, I want numbers that are less than 0. The numbers that are less than 0 on this side. So we're going to go that way. And again, a nice little trick, if you notice, the arrow should point the same direction. Again, that only works if it's in proper notation, which is variable on the left hand side. The next one, I have n is greater than 0. Again, how do I know it's greater than? Because it's not an L. So it can't be less than, it must be greater than. So n is greater than 0. The way we would mark this, here's 0, here's -1, here's 1. This is an open circle because there's no equal to sign. So no equal to sign means an open circle. And then you got to think, okay, what numbers are greater than 0? So what numbers are bigger than 0? So that's beyond this side. Down here, we have n is greater than or equal to 0. So same concept, but now that's greater than or equal to, we could do a closed circle. I'll go to the right again. So that's the idea. Other than that, all this is the same thing. So when we're solving equations, right? You could add the same thing to both sides. You can subtract the same thing from both sides. You can multiply the same thing both sides with one caveat. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, then you have to flip the inequality. I'm going to switch the inequality. A quick example. If I have 2x is less than 6, or should let's say -2x is less than 6, and I want to solve this, I'm like, okay, I'm going to divide both sides by -2. But since we divided by a negative, negatives change everything around. This become a -3, but also we got to switch this inequality to greater than. So that's the one caveat. Other than that, it's all the same. You solve it the exact same way you solve linear equations. Add to both sides, subtract to both sides, multiply, divide to both sides, but if it happens to be negative, you have to switch inequality. In mind, let's do our first example. So I'm actually skip down for now. We're just gonna start with this one. Solve each inequality and graph the solution. So it's just like doing a linear equation. We're gonna solve this. Only difference is, right, if you divide by negative, switch inequality. And also, once you're done, you gotta graph it. Let's start. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate these, right? That's our wall. Whatever I do to the left side, I gotta do this to the right side. And right here, I wanna get the x by itself. So we gotta get rid of that +2. So the opposite operation would be -2. We'll subtract 2 from both sides. These cancel. I get 2x is less than 10, 8. 2x is less than 8. And then we're just going to divide both sides by 2. So I get x is less than 4. So that's it. Now we just got to graph this. So 4 is right here. Here's 3. Here's 2, 5, and 6. Now this is an open circle, right? We don't see a line underneath, so it's an open circle. Now we just got to decide which way do we go. This is a less than sign, right? So we want the numbers that are less than 4. Here's 4. The numbers that are less than 4 will be like 2 and 3. So we're going to go this way. And again, a nice little thing to check is if you have it in proper notation, that's with x on the left-hand side, the inequality kind of matches the arrow that you would draw for your graph. It should go the same direction if you have it in proper notation. So that's our first example. Now let's go a little more detail. Let's go back up here and do a slightly more difficult one. Okay, so this one, same concept, right? We want to solve it. But if you notice, there's way more stuff happening on one side. So the way we would solve it is the same way we solve a linear equation. The first thing we want to do is simplify this left-hand side. So I'm going to distribute this -4 to both of these. So I get -12x plus 4 plus 6x is greater than or equal to 16, like that. Now, you still got to simplify this left-hand side, right? So keep in mind, again, if they're on the same side, you just add them. A lot of people tend to like add 12 here and add 12 there. It's not the way it works. You just simplify them, right? They're on the same side. You do not do the opposite. You just add them. So -12x plus 6x is a -6x. The plus 4 stays greater than or equal to 16. Now we have to solve this. So I would subtract the 4 from both sides. and we get negative 6x is greater than or equal to 12. And now we got to divide by that negative 6. So divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. We get x, we get negative 2, but we divided by a negative. Remember, red alert. When you multiply divide by a negative, when you multiply divide by a negative, you get to switch inequality. That greater than sign actually turns into a less than equal to sign, right? You just literally flip the way it's going. Now we graph this. Here is negative 2. Now you always want to count up, right? So like a number line, negative 2, negative 1, 0. And then this would be negative 3, negative 4. It's a closed circle at negative 2. So I can spell less again. So I want numbers that are less than negative 2. Numbers that are less than negative 2 are going to be on this side. These numbers are smaller than negative 2. Arrow should go this direction. That's how we solve it. Now let's do one with the variable on both sides. So like this. So you see in this case, we have variables on both sides. So we're going to do the same thing. Put the line down there. Now my usual rule is I want to get smaller x out of the way. So in this case, I'd go like minus 2x to both sides. Always want to get rid of the variables first. You want to make sure there's one variable on one side. And typically we get rid of a smaller variable. So like this, we get negative 5 less than or equal to 3x minus 22. And now I'm going to move over this 22. So we're going to add 22 to both sides. And I get 17 is less than or equal to 3x. Oh, this is not going to be pretty. Anyway, next we're going to divide it by 3. So I get 17 over 3, which is, that's all it is less than or equal to x. Okay, there's a couple of reasons I want to do this one, besides the fact that it's ugly and that this happens life. I have the x on the wrong side. Usually you want x on the left-hand side. That makes it an easy, clean picture. Because right now I have 17 divided by 3 is less than x, which is fine. But you typically want x in the proper notation. X is, if you just like flip this all, x would be greater than 17 over 3. And that's a lot easier for most of us to read. I can understand what x greater than 17 over 3 means. So a little bit more than 5, or a lot more than 5. So here is 5, here is 6, here is 7, here is 4. I'm also put a closed circle here at around 17 over 3. Now, which way is it going to go? What numbers are bigger than 17 over 3? Right, that would be this side. These numbers are bigger than 5, basically. So I should go in this direction. By the way, the line you're drawing is the x. Like, that's what it is. They're saying all these numbers are bigger than 5.3. So when you draw that line, you're actually drawing the x value. So there we go. And again, you can also check this guy, that guy. Notice that only works when it's in proper notation. This one's pointing the wrong direction because it's x is not on the left-hand side, so it's not going to work. Okay, let's talk about a special case of inequalities. Just like when we do solutions, like linear equations, you actually could get infinitely many solutions or no solution. It works the same way. If you get something that's true, like 5 is greater than 2, that's a true statement. That's infinitely many, right? So true is infinitely many. If you get something that's false, like 2 is greater than 5, that'd be no solution. So same concept. If you get a true statement, infinitely many, get a false statement, no solution. So let's do an example here. I'm going to distribute this negative 3 to both of them. And we get negative 6x plus 15 is greater than negative 6x plus 9. And then here, right, I want to get rid of this 6x's. I can see they're going to cancel out, but let's just pretend we don't see it. I'm going to add 6x both sides. These cancel, I get 15 is greater than 9. And that is a true statement. Again, this is greater than, it's not an L, right? So it's not less than, it's greater than. 15 is bigger than 9. So this is true. So all real numbers are infinitely many solutions. Like that. And then how you draw a number line? Honestly, it's just it's the whole number line. Infinitely many solutions. The whole thing works. So the next one, so in this one, same concept, we're going to distribute first. So I get 4x minus 5 less than or equal to 4x minus 6. Let's get rid of the 4x's. So minus 4x from both sides. These cancel, these cancel. I get negative 5 is less than or equal to negative 6. That is not a true statement. And it's a little tough because they're negatives, but you have negative 5 is smaller than negative 6. So it's a little funky because they're negatives, but this is a false statement. So no solution. If you want to think about it, you can divide them both by negative, and then you'll switch to inequality, and you get 5 is greater than 6, which is false. Think about it that way. So that's the idea, right? Exact same constants linear equations. If it's a true statement, you get infinitely many solutions. If it's a false statement, you get no solutions. Let's move on. We're going to do an application problem, and then we'll call it a video. So Derek wants to order some roses online. Florist A charges $4.75 per rose plus $4 delivery fee. Florist B charges $5.15 per rose and delivery fee of $25. For what number of roses is it less expensive to order from Florist A? We're going to do something we did before. We're going to set them equal to each other. So Florist A, we want to use the equation mx plus b. Where m is the rate of change, how much we pay per rose. So that'll be our m, the charge is per rose. And b is our initial value. So we have to pay $40 like flat fee. So that's our initial, that's our b. So we're going to have an equation for m that is 4.75x plus 40. Remember, we're trying to figure out when it's less expensive to order from Florist A. So I want to figure out when this is less expensive and then florist B. So let's find the equation for florist B. Florist B charges $5.15 per row, so that'll be your M, and a $25 delivery fee, that'll be your B. So this is gonna be 5.15 x, plus 25. So that's our equation. Now we have to solve it. Same concept as before. Let's get only 1x. So here's my wall. We're gonna subtract 4.75 from both sides. These cancel. I get 40 is less than or equal to 40.40 x plus 25. Now let's subtract 25 from both sides, and we get that's 15 is less than or equal to 0.40 x. All we got to do is divide by 0.40. Type that into our calculator if we want, and we're gonna get x is greater than or equal to, or less than equal. I read that wrong. You get 27.5. So we get 27.5 is less than or equal to x. Again, it's a little funky when it's that way. It's just like I just showed. It's kind of hard to read. So I'm gonna flip it. X is greater than or equal to 27.5. So that means that at 27.5 roses, they're the same. But if we do more than 27.5 roses, then florist A is cheaper. 28 or more roses, if you buy, then it's cheaper to buy from florist A. So that's the idea, and that's the lesson.